Hello and welcome or welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing a review of Girls of Paper and Fire. Adding this in a little later, I thought I was done, but this came, so I'm going to unbox my November Sips By box. I've tried 3 of the teas from my last box. I'm actually making the 4th one right now. It is a mint tea. You really can't go wrong with mint, so I expected it to be good. Okay, the first is from Zest Tea. It's an energy tea and it is spicy masala chai. I don't think I've ever heard of this brand, but I'm excited to try this. It has 3 times more caffeine than regular tea. So this is pretty cool. Plus I really do love chai. So I'm really excited to see what other chais I start to get in the future. As I mentioned, I didn't like the chai that I tried from my last box, so hopefully this one's much better. The next tea that I have is a Moroccan mint from Stash. If you don't already know, I really love Stash. I know that because my friend Erica for my birthday got me a variety box from Stash and it had 48 different kinds of tea in it. I'm actually still working through that box. A lot of the teas that I use during my wrap-ups are actually from that gift box, so you will definitely be seeing more of those in the future. This Moroccan mint, it has spearmint, lemongrass, peppermint. So can't wait to try this. I love mint tea and Stash is such a great brand for it. Literally, even the teas that I don't like from Stash are probably still really good to other people. Like there was one that's like caramel something and I don't like caramel, so I didn't like the tea, but it did taste like caramel and I would recommend it to somebody who does like caramel. So if you're looking for good tea, highly recommend Stash. The next one is a peach and passion fruit from Ahmad Tea. Never heard of this brand. This is a black tea, which I absolutely love black tea. I love anything with caffeine in it, really. And I am also a pretty big coffee drinker. I just also like tea. Really excited about this one because I absolutely love passion fruit. It's like one of my favorite flavors. And in tea, it's always so good. So I'm really excited for this one. And let me find the last one. Oh. Ooh, yay, this one's a loose leaf. I love loose leaf tea. This one is Asheville Grey from Asheville Tea Company. So I'm assuming it's a play on Earl Grey. Has bergamot oil, so yeah, Earl Grey, high caffeine. Really excited for this. Oh, this is such a good box. I love this, I'm so excited. This box, even from just rating the first 3 teas that I got in my first box, this one is already so much more personalized and I absolutely love it. So the mint one is low caffeine, the passion fruit and Asheville Grey are both high caffeine, and then that spicy masala chai is coffee level caffeine, which I am super excited for. I might skip my morning coffee to try that one. All right, so those are all of my teas. Back to my review of Girls of Paper and Fire. This has been on my TBR for a while. I finally got the book a little while ago. I also have the second one up there. Some things that I enjoyed about this include the characters. I like the main characters that we follow. There is a bit of a found family vibe. I also really enjoy revenge plots, and there's a little bit of that going on as well. I also think that it was really great to see that among the paper girls, most of them are very supportive and check in on each other, check in on each other's mental health, which I think is super important given the circumstances of this story. The thing that I dislike the most is that the world itself is incredibly patriarchal and misogynistic, and I understand why it's written that way, but I still really struggled with that. One of the things that probably pissed me off the most was people constantly telling the paper girls that they're lucky and they should be grateful for the situation that they're in. So if you're not familiar, in this book we follow Lay, who is a member of the paper caste in this land called Ikara. So in Ikara altogether there are 3 castes, paper being the lowest of the low because they are human and they have absolutely no demon-like features or capabilities. The second tier is the steel caste, which is a hybrid of human and demon. So they may look mostly human, but then will have certain demon-like features such as horns or fur. And then the last part is the moon caste, which is fully demon. The demon king who rules over Ikara is obviously a member of the moon caste, and every year he takes 8 concubines from the paper caste, and that's where our main character comes in. She somehow gets roped into being a paper girl, and then we follow her journey from there. So my rating for this one is, I'm lingering between a 3 and a 3.5. I was ready to give it 4 stars because I was enjoying where the plot was going. However, the epilogue ruined it. So I'm only gonna give this about 3.25. So if you have not yet read Girls of Paper and Fire but you would like to, this is your official spoiler warning. As always, we will start with the characters, starting off with Lay. I like her for the most part. I understand her feelings. She was never supposed to be a paper girl, and so obviously she's very fucking upset about it, and I understand. I appreciate her determination, the fact that she was willing to be the first to fight back. Although there were some scenes where I think she did some dumb shit, and it kind of just ended up getting her into more trouble than was necessary. I also had a little bit of an issue. I feel like she spends a lot of time putting on a brave face for other people, particularly Lil, which I know that she's young, and so Lay is trying to keep the illusion of what it's like to be a paper girl, but also a little bit for Aoki, who is supposed to be her best friend, and I don't really feel like until the end she felt like she could be totally honest with her. So that was a little frustrating because given the predicament, like, you shouldn't have to put on a brave face for anybody. Next is Rin. She is 100% my favorite character in this entire story. She is a complete badass boss bitch, and that's really all I have to say about her. Given that Aoki is Lay's best friend, I really wanted to like her, and I did at first. However, towards the middle of the story, when she starts to talk about how lucky she thinks they all are and how she thinks she's in love with the Demon King, I kind of didn't like her after that point, because this is such a Beauty and the Beast vibe, like Stockholm Syndrome. And the fact that he's even telling her that she could be the first paper queen is bullshit, but she's falling for it, and I don't really know why. I mean, given the circumstances, what are the chances that he would actually make you the queen, considering how much he pretty much fucking hates the paper cast, which is why you are in the position that you're in. But also, you're falling in love with someone who is planning to continue to have 8 concubines every year, but somehow you're convincing yourself that you're special. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Do I think that would be an interesting turn of events later down the line? Sure. Do I think it's gonna happen? No. Why? Because it's unrealistic. So I'm interested to see what role Aoki plays later in the story, but yeah, I liked her, and then that went downhill. Next is Zell. I hate that she's in the position that she's in, but I love how great she was with Lay. I also like that she kind of made the first move on attacking the Demon King by stabbing him in the eye. I do hate that she died though, because I think she could have played a really great role later in the series, but unfortunately we won't get to see her anymore. Blue. I feel like the role of Blue in this story, where she like dislikes the main character who's like the chosen one, like it's overdone. It's overdone. And Blue is just a bitch to everybody for absolutely no reason, including a part where she is literally at her lowest because she realizes finally that her father genuinely does not give a fuck about her. And even in that moment when Lay, who of all people shouldn't have to, is offering her support and saying, I'm here for you whenever you need me, and she's still a bitch. So if Blue dies, I honestly wouldn't care. Do I feel for her? Absolutely. But for you to take your anger towards your father out on everybody else around you, it's stupid. Also, in a situation like this, the reason that I appreciate Found Family so much is that none of the girls are competing with each other because they all understand their predicament. Plus, trying to compete wouldn't make any sense. I mean, you're not gonna get anything out of it. You're here for a year and then you're stuck doing this for other people, essentially, is what the life of a paper girl is like. So for Blue to continue to just be an asshole to everybody because she has a shitty parent is dumb. The last character that I want to talk about is the Demon King. Fuck him, first and foremost. And he is the epitome of toxic masculinity and fragile ass egos. Like, the fact that he's mad that people are rebelling, and so his immediate thought is discipline and destruction. Like, okay. But then also the way that he takes his anger out on the paper girls. When rebellion started and the sickness was spreading, he takes it out on Rin and she comes back with bruises and a fucking hand mark around her throat. Like, all right, dude. I really had mixed feelings about this ending. I also have a lot of questions going into the second book. The scene where Lay finally gets the advantage on the Demon King. The way that it is described, the way that it sounds like she pushed that blade through his throat until she couldn't push anymore. You mean to tell me that he somehow survived? I don't believe it. I don't believe it, because it was made very clear when Kenzo told her, when you get the blade in, you don't stop, you keep pushing. And she's talking about hearing the bone and cartilage. Like, so then after that happens, and the time it takes them to escape, and when the fox guard is, I can't remember her name, is fighting Kenzo, at least 5 minutes have to pass. So he's bleeding out from the throat, and we're supposed to believe that he survived. I don't buy it. I don't. So that's why I lowered my rating after reading that blog, because I was pissed. I don't think it's realistic that he survives. And yeah, I get that they have the shamans and they're magical and all that, but he should have died. He should have died. That's the perfect beginning to a rebellion. Kill the king and move forward. But so the questions that I still have from this first book, the first one is, will we ever see the Demon Queen? Next is, I assume that Lei will be reunited with her family. Ren did say that Bubba and Tian were being taken care of, so hopefully they're in a safe place. I also want to know if her mother's actually dead, because I wouldn't put it past the Demon King to tell her that when he did, just to add insult to injury. The biggest question that I have from all of this, that I've been wondering since the very beginning, is, what is the story behind her eyes? Is she actually part demon? Is there something that we just don't know yet about her that's gonna come out later? Like, I feel like there's probably a reason for that, because I feel like that wouldn't be such a big plot point if there wasn't actually a reason. I mean, at the end of the day, that is how she became a paper girl. General Yu literally tracked her down and presented her as a gift to the Demon King because he got demoted. And same with Blue's father. You traded your daughter, not even for a guarantee, but for hopes of a promotion. I still have not decided when I'm gonna read Girls of Storm and Shadow, either December or January. Maybe January, because there are some things that I want to prioritize for December. Okay, so it looks like book 3, Girls of Fate and Fury, is not expected to be released until November of 2021. Maybe I'll put reading book 2 on hold for a little while, because that's kind of a long time, and I hate waiting in between books, which is why I have so many incomplete series. But if you have read Girls of Paper and Fire, let me know what you thought. Also, let me know if you've read Girls of Storm and Shadow and if you liked it better than the first one or not. Otherwise, that's all I have for you, and I'll see you in the next video.